Hello and welcome to Reality TV Cringe. I am one of your hosts, Delia, and I'm here with my real tight homegirl and my daughter-in-law, the illustrious Beatrice.
Hi.
We are here to talk sister wives order.
As always.
We are still in season 6. This is a long,
very long
season. I think there's like 30 episodes in this season, just like there was almost 30 episodes in season 19. That's crazy talk.
What are we doing?
What's happening
I
over
don't
here?
understand.
Having flash mobs and everything? Like I could care about that.
For real.
Jesus, always an opportunity to see Cody dancing around like a feminine fool.
Like
A feminine
fool.
He said in this episode, I don't know how to dance like a man though.
Yeah.
Because I'm dancing like a woman. Isn't that what you want? And my question was, isn't that what you want, Cody?
That is what he wants.
I feel like that's what you want.
He's embracing his true self.
And I love that
through
for him.
dance. Interpretive dance.
Hashtag free Cody. Before we get into the episode, we do have to remind you to please hide your wife and hide your kids. This is a politically incorrect podcast. We say stupid things.
Mm-hmm.
We have dumb opinions.
Mm-hmm.
And we do not censor ourselves.
No.
Shockingly, we're not going to do it.
Absolutely not.
So if you're so
Why are you even here?
You might want to find yourself another dumpster.
Bye.
But if you are ready to watch another Mary Brown tantrum, welcome to this dumpster, honey.
And if you like what we do over here, please be sure to follow us on Instagram at Reality TV Cringe and join us on Patreon, patreon.com/Reality TV Cringe. We're continuing our coverage of season 2 of The Valley over there. It's getting dark.
It's been dark.
But it's getting worse.
Yea, though we walk through the valley of darkness. That's the valley of darkness.
Yeah. Jax Taylor.
But it's also entertaining.
Yeah.
We're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And you should join us there on the Patreon.
You should.
Now, if you are watching on YouTube, please do not forget to like and comment and share and subscribe because truly every single thing you do helps us to grow. And when we're growing, we're getting fatter.
Oh, yeah.
And when we're fatter, we're even more awesome.
True.
Which is hard to believe.
I know.
So thank you in advance.
Thanks.
Are we having an after show tonight? I know there were some rumblings about things that are happening on Plathville.
It just seems like more and more stuff comes out about Plathville.
Talk about toxic.
So toxic.
And then there was like some sort of a sighting of Cody at some gun show, and we got a glimpse of his hair.
Have to roast him.
Okay, so we're going to have a little bit of an after
Yeah.
show. And so if you are on our Patreon, if you're a VIP raccoon, make sure you stay
Yeah.
for that. All right, without any further ado, let's get into season 6, episode
14.
entitled
Polygamist Flash Mob.
Oh my God, yay.
Oh my
We're doing a
God.
flash mob. Remember when that was really popular?
Yeah. I wish it would stay in the past.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
It's cringe.
Very much so.
AF. So we start off this episode with talking about like graduations because Leon and Aspen are graduating at the same time. And we have like Christine and Mary and Robyn getting together for a graduation party meeting with Leon and Aspen, talking about what they want to have at their graduation party. They're going to have a fortune teller. They're going to have dancing. They're going to have Mormon snacks and neighbors galore. And I'm just like so bored.
I'm bored as well. I did notice, though, that Christine actually introduced the scene by saying that her and Mary were going to sit down with their 2 kids. She did not mention that Robyn was going to be there. And then the next thing I saw was Robyn was sitting at the Great Mormon conversation table, pitching in her 2 cents.
Of course.
About, I guess, the fortune teller.
I guess.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, why?
I know we talked about that a little bit when we discussed the preview last week, but like that's just, I don't know. I come up in like evangelical Christianity. My God is an awesome God. And like we couldn't read any of them tarot cards.
Yeah.
We could not go to a fortune teller or a soothsayer. Like that was a sin. And I'm not saying I believe that now at this old age. I do not actually, but it's just kind of weird to me that they're this fundamentalist Mormon group of people and they're willing to have a soothsayer come on by.
It's kind of odd. And it does give a little bit more credibility to the theory of like Robyn being a secret witch or whatever. And like maybe she wasn't actually Mormon. I mean, now she's got all of these like amethyst crystals and stuff. And I wonder if she's got her own like secret tarot card decks at home and like little witch rituals or stuff. But I'm just like, why suggest a fortune teller? Although, if I go back into the Wayback Machine when I graduated, we had a big like class graduation party and we had fortune tellers.
I mean, I can see wanting the kids to have a little fun and talk about their future and maybe having somebody there for entertainment purposes. But there was just sort of this undercurrent of like, Christine really believes in this. And it seemed like Robyn really believed in it. Mary does not. And Janelle was so quiet in this episode. You hardly heard a peep out of her.
I know. We didn't hear much from her at all.
Furthermore, she did not dance.
No.
You could not make her dance. Just like my Torian sister. I'm not doing what I do not want to do.
Yep.
But like, it was just really kind of a strange thing to add into the celebration to me.
It was bizarre. And I'm like, okay, this is obviously like, I don't know if this is like for the producers or if like Robyn's actually into it. I just thought it was odd. But they're going to have a fortune teller. They plan the graduation party. And then we segue on over to a conversation, I think at Mary's house with Cody and Dr. Guido.
Oh my God.
About student loans.
Guido rolling up in his Toyota Corolla. I mean, I'm like, why are we reintroducing this guy from last season? He's just coming over to yell about student loans.
I know. It's so weird.
Yeah.
But Cody wants us to know that he's very concerned about his kids signing up for a whole lot of debt. And so he wants to talk to this expert, I guess, of Dr. Guido.
A doctor of what?
I don't know.
A doctor of what? Chiropractic, kinesiology, medieval literature? What's he a doctor of?
I have no idea. I'm like, who is this guy? He shows up to Mary's house to talk to them about student loans. And of course, Dr. Guido's like all for it. He's like, they're great. You don't want your kid to worry about money at all while they're in college, so let them sign up for hundreds of thousands of dollars of student debt.
I did not understand this, and I also really resent being made to have to agree with Cody Brown.
Yeah.
Because he's absolutely right. You don't want your children to graduate from college with multiple thousands of dollars in debt that likely they're going to be carrying for the rest of their lives. And with Leon going into the medical field, I mean, you're going to have to be kind of a pretty snazzy doctor if you want to pay back $400,000 of your private college, which obviously we know they did not go on to do that. But it's just like giving your child a message that it's okay to incur that kind of crippling debt, thereby creating a debt slave for the rest of their lives, is wild to me. And I was just sitting there so grateful that you don't have any student loans.
Oh, me too.
My daughter doesn't have any student loans. My husband doesn't have any student loans. Like, we don't have student loans in this family, and I'm really, really thankful for that.
Yeah, me too. Because if I was Leon's age and I went to school for what I wanted to go for, I would have been in school for like 12 years.
You wanted to be like a brain doctor when I first met you. Oh my God, you were so adorable. You're like, I really want to I'm fascinated by brains and stuff, but I really want to know how they work, and I want to like get in there, and I want to be a surgeon on brains. And I'm like, you go, girl.
I wanted to be a neurosurgeon.
You did.
And then I'm like looking at all of those years of school, and I'm like, you know what? Actually, I don't. I want to sit on a podcast and wear wigs.
Yeah.
And talk
it's a bit easier and less expensive.
Yeah, exactly. But I just thought this whole conversation was so stupid. And Christine like trying to advocate for debt, like her being like, well, we went into debt to save the family and bring our family together. So it's like actually a good thing. Debt is actually good.
Wild. And also your brain is fully formed, whereas Aspen and Leon don't have fully formed brains. I don't believe like an 18-year-old can actually consent and or understand like what they are getting into when they're signing up for these, in my opinion, predatory loans. Like one part of the coin is, well, but you're an adult and you agreed to take out these loans and pay them back, and that's valid. But on the other side of that coin, it's like, yeah, but they're 18, 19, 20 years old. They have broken brains. They don't know how the world works. They don't know what the implication of, decades of paying off debt. And what's that going to do to them? I was watching somebody on social media. This lady was a doctor in physical therapy. And I'm just like, first of all, I'm like, as a physical therapist, there's no way you're going to be making back enough money to pay off your loans. And her husband was a chiropractor, and she was talking about their debt. And her debt just on her was like $600,000.
Oh my
Her
God.
schooling was $200,000 or $300,000 to get a doctorate in physical therapy.
That's
And physical therapy.
insane.
Then she had like an additional $100,000 in personal loans. But then you get to her husband, and he had like $900,000 in debt. And he's a chiropractor, but like, I don't know how people can live with that kind of debt. And I have a little bit of debt.
Yeah.
I think you have a little bit of debt, but like that kind of debt is crazy.
No,
That's
absolutely
how we know
insane.
we're living in a matrix. They're
Oh,
setting
yeah.
us up to be slaves for the rest of our life.
Well, and the problem with like student loans is they sell you on like, well, you don't have to pay them back right away. So as long as you're in school, it's fine. But then once you get out and the payments start happening, then it's crazy. And it's like the thing with like young kids like this, we know that Leon doesn't go to medical school.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't know what the fuck they want to do in their life. They obviously change their mind and they go on a different course in life. And I'm just like wondering how much student loan debt they actually have, or if Mary took it all on, because that's what happened to my stepdad. My stepdad ended up taking some of the student loans from my eldest sister,
Mm-hmm.
who, no offense, she kind of fucked around a lot in college. And so he took some of the student loan debt and he had to pay off that shit.
Yeah.
Because she didn't end up using it. And I'm just like, this is crazy, man. But okay, let's talk to Dr. Guido, who says debt is good.
Yeah.
And kids should get a lot of debt. And it's fine because they shouldn't have to worry about that in school. They shouldn't have to go and get a job. They shouldn't have to worry about money.
And this is how we know, like, Dr. Guido and the Browns are not educated.
No.
And I think so many Americans are not educated
Mhm.
around money, finances, how to balance your accounts, how to deal with debt. Like, they have no idea. And Cody does ask in this meeting, when she takes out student loans, does that mean I have to co-sign for them?
Mhm.
And Dr. Guido's like, yes. And I'm
Yep.
like, really?
Yeah.
I thought kids could take out their own loans as long as they're 18 years old and you would not have to tie your parent to it.
Depends on if you have credit, if you have decent credit. And so if they don't have a credit history, then yeah, the parents would have to co-sign
I
on
would
it.
never.
Mm-mm.
I would never. Furthermore, send your kids to the trades.
I mean, really.
Help them to learn a trade, because pretty soon AI is going to make all of our jobs, except for us,
Yeah.
obsolete. Well, maybe.
I don't know.
At some point, they'll be able
AI's
to
getting
come-
pretty good.
They'll be able to come up with a couple of fat raccoons talking about sister wives.
Yep.
But like a lot of these jobs that people are going to school for
It's scary.
and paying all of this money to do, like, their jobs are not going to be available and or they're going to be obsolete. So if you know how to be a plumber or an electrician, if you can become a journeyman or a
Mhm.
gunsmith or something like that, that's going to take you a long way. That's just my old lady 2 cents.
Oh, for sure. Well, and that's like the greatest, well, not the greatest, but one of the biggest scams of like millennial and Gen Z's generations, that like we were told, go to school for like 4 or 6, 10 years. And like, you'll be able to come out and get a nice career. And now it's like, you have all of these millennials with all of the student debt. They're like, but I can't get a career with my degree.
With like these crazy degrees, though, that are a little bit
some of them.
esoteric.
Some
Certainly
of them
not
are crazy, but-
degrees that we were getting back in the day when I was going to school in the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah.
And it was so much more affordable, obviously, to go to school for
Yeah.
somebody in Gen X. It's just wild out there.
Yeah.
This was a very unresponsible episode of Sister Wives, in my opinion.
It was really stupid.
Yeah, debt is terrible.
I
Debt
know.
will suffocate you. Debt will give you panic attacks. Debt
Yep.
will keep you from entering into healthy relationships with people who don't want debt.
Well, bad debt. Yeah.
Bad debt.
For sure.
Yep.
And then we have graduation day for Leon and Aspen.
Sorry, I went off on a
No,
tangent.
it's fine.
I apologize.
It's fine. But we have graduation day with Leon and Aspen's like, I'm ready to get the fuck out of this house.
Yeah.
I'm tired of being the mom. I'm tired of having to do everything. And Aspen literally says that she thinks that she's going to get a bunch of calls while she's in college from her parents for help on how to do things or like what to do, because Aspen's been doing everything. Like, we talk a lot about Logan being a parentified child, but I'm like looking at Aspen, I'm like, geez.
Well,
I feel
Logan was
bad.
the parent in Janelle's house, and
Yep.
Aspen was the parent in Christine's house.
Yep.
And you even have Christine saying to camera, like, there's going to be a massive adjustment as soon as Aspen goes off to school,
Yikes.
because honestly, Aspen runs this house. She says that.
Yeah.
Aspen runs this house. And I'm like, how embarrassing
I know.
for you to say that out loud
How
and
to
on
admit
camera.
that. Yeah.
Like, and in 2025, as you look back and remember that you said that, to know that you so deeply parentified your child so that she's taking care of all these other kids you're choosing to pop out in this weird toxic environment and then making the eldest one care for. It's just
Yep.
like, that's so unfair for Aspen.
Absolutely insane. And then you have Leon saying that they're worried about how Mary's going to do when they leave the house. And I'm just like, see, it's another unhealthy dynamic. It's like you have Aspen, the parentified child, and then you have Leon, the enmeshed child, who's worried about their mom when they shouldn't be. Like, Mary's a grown-ass woman. She can deal with herself. I understand, like, being worried about your mom, like, a little bit, like, oh, you know, I know she's going to miss me and stuff like that. But, like, Leon seems genuinely concerned about
And
Mary.
Leon should be, because I think within a couple of years of Leon going off to school, we've got Mary with a banana in her mouth in the tub being catfished by some woman in Wisconsin or whatever and falling in love with this guy named Sam that's not a guy at all. And so Mary actually is quite vulnerable at this stage in life. And this episode, again, we're getting a lot of the vibe of, I don't know what my position and place in the family is. I don't know what I'm going to do when Leon leaves. What am I going to do just rambling around in this 5-bedroom house that I insisted upon all alone, because we all know Cody doesn't come over anymore. And guess what? Leon knows that too.
Yeah, but Leon shouldn't know that. That's my opinion.
But Leon does.
Leon does, and Leon shouldn't know about any of this. And then we have the actual like graduation ceremony where everybody's trying to find their seats in this giant auditorium, and you have Mary crashing out because she can't see Leon on stage.
Instead of just communicating to the 23 people that are there with her in a mature way and saying, hey, you know, Leon is my only child.
Yeah.
I have to be in a physical position where I can see my child cross the stage. It's so important to me. Saying that in a reasonable way so people can say, oh yeah, that makes total sense. Let's go ahead and do that. But instead, the way she goes about it is just so annoying. And you can see Cody getting annoyed with her in the moment. And honestly, I don't blame him.
Well, yeah.
It's too much.
It is a little much, but at the same time, it's like Mary is emotionally starved at this point. Like, she doesn't have anybody to like console her or anything. Like, you have Robyn consoling Cody and actually like kind of fake advocating.
For the cameras.
For the cameras. Fake advocating for Mary in this point, being like, well, this is Mary's only child. Like, come on. Like, she's just emotional. It was kind of interesting because Cody starts to talk a little shit to Robyn, and then she kind of cuts him off because she knows the cameras are right there.
But only after acknowledging it. And what Cody is saying with his back to the camera is, Mary's playing her games again, and she's putting it all on you, Robyn. And Robyn says, I know, validating what Cody is saying. And then she starts to pivot and say, but this is Mary's only child, using the opportunity yet again to call out the fact that Mary only has one child and can never have another child because she's infertile and useless as a woman. Okay, this is like every opportunity she can take, she does it.
She does, yeah.
But she's doing it under the guise of trying to move Cody in the direction of what it is that Mary wants.
It's kind of interesting. That little moment out of this whole boring episode, I'm like, that's really interesting. That you can see their dynamic already in play. Like where Cody runs to Robyn to talk shit about the other wives, and then Robyn spins her little web, and like luckily we caught them at the moment where she's on camera and getting called out, so she's trying to make it seem like she's consoling and she's advocating for Mary, but we know
if the cameras weren't there, I think Robyn would also be talking shit in that moment. And I thought it was completely manipulative. And you really did get a sense of how the power dynamics in the family have shifted and how much power Robyn now has, because Cody's going to Robyn. He's not going to Christine. He's not going to Janelle, who's eminently reasonable and who can talk him off a ledge. He's going to Robyn.
Yep. Very, very interesting. And then it's like the next day, I guess, after the graduation. And this is where we have Mary and Cody sitting Leon down to tell Leon that they're not going to have another baby.
When I tell you that I paused this and I'm like, are we doing this again?
What
I
are we doing?
We already did this a half a year previous to
Yeah.
this at Christmas time when you all were about to move into the cul-de-sac. You guys went out in the mountains.
Yep.
You made her hike in those clogs. You sat her down and you said, absolutely not. We're not having a baby. I don't want it. You tell old. Plus, I'm in love with Robyn.
Yep.
Ain't no baby in your future, Mary. And we finished this. And now here it is, rearing its ugly head as a topic. And now we got to drag Leon into it.
I know. And it's such a nothing burger because Leon's like, okay, whatever.
I figured.
I don't care.
Duh.
I figured as much. And then Leon walks out of the room. And then you have Cody and his little interstitial being like, yeah, I mean, I kind of wish we would have done this like 10 or 15 years ago.
Duh.
But, you know, there's a lot of factors that went into this decision. Mainly the fact that Mary's an old bitch.
And I hate her. And I don't want to procreate with her at all. Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
Yes, it was
Just
nuts.
like, I don't know why we had to have this conversation. Maybe to like wrap it up finally.
I guess.
But if we talk about having another baby after this again,
I bet we will.
I am going to crash out.
I bet it comes back up as a subject.
I'm
because
going to
they
flip my
always
shit.
need content to put in front of us. Because then we get Cody and Mary on the couch. So they have the conversation with Leon,
Yep,
and
in
we
their
have to
bed.
watch that crap.
So
but then we
stupid.
have an interstitial with them on
Yeah.
the couch talking about it again. I don't care. Since season 1, Beatrice, they've been putting me through this.
Season 1, season 6. I'm so over it. I swear to God, if we hear it about again, I'm gonna flip out. And then we have the day of the anticipated graduation party. We see the adults rehearsing their cringe ass polygamist flash mob.
Fat mom.
Polygamist
Fat
fat mob.
If that were us, that's what it would be.
That's what it would
It'd be a fat raccoon mob.
Yeah.
But that's funny. And Christine is leading it.
Yep.
Christine is trying to
As
get
always.
everybody into the choreography.
Which no one
Janelle
wants.
is conspicuously not there.
It's kind of
She
funny.
is an immovable object, honey,
Yep.
and you're not going to put. I think later at somebody's wedding or something,
Yeah.
I think Janelle ends up performing like she's
Yeah.
forced to it, but she doesn't want to do it at
No.
all.
Not at all.
So in this scene, we only have Mary, Cody, Robyn, and Christine practicing a dance that looks terrible. And I'm
It's
like,
so
why
bad.
are you going to do this at a party? Because you have to always be the center of attention?
That's what it is. And like the kids don't even want it. Like
No.
Leon and Aspen literally said earlier in the episode, like, please, no dancing. For the love of God. I don't want to see my 40-year-old parents dance in front of all of my friends. Like,
Right.
please, no. And
Teenagers don't want any part of that. They
No.
don't want to even be associated with their parents.
they don't want their parents
No.
even around them, perceived, like, go away. But here we are rehearsing this stupid dance, and then you have all of the neighbors coming over, and we have to have the interviews with all of the neighbors. What do you think about these weird polygamists? And all the neighbors are like, they're great people. We
They're
love
so
them.
sweet. I
They're
love
just
the
like
kids.
us. I'm
The
like, I
kids are great.
It's so it's so bad.
It's very bad.
It's so bad.
It's boring.
And then we have the infamous fortune teller, which is like the only interesting thing
Mystic
that comes out of
Mona.
this. Mystic Mona,
Yeah.
who reads everybody's fortunes. I think she starts with Aspen and Leon first, and she starts with Aspen saying, "You're not gonna find a man until you get your career straightened out."
So that didn't come true.
No, it didn't at all. But Aspen's like, "Yeah, it's like totally what I want."
Makes
It's totally
sense
true."
because they have this vision for my life in which I'm doing this thing that's so professional.
I know.
But what Mystic Mona did say was that Aspen would not procreate until she was established in her career.
Right.
And that, I think, did happen because, Aspen's pregnant, right?
Is she right now?
Yeah, Aspen's
Oh,
pregnant
good.
right now.
That's
There's
great.
some sort of a picture that's circulating on the internet because she works at some
Wow.
doctor's office or something like that. And she had a
Cool.
big old belly and everything.
Wow.
So she's established in her career now and she's procreating. She's making a baby in her belly.
So that's 1 point for Mystic Mona. She was
One.
right about that.
But also one against Mystic Mona.
Yeah, a little bit. And then Mystic Mona gives Leon their fortune, which is all about how Leon's going to marry a man who's going to be a big old fucking jerk, just like your daddy.
Right.
Which is pretty great.
Yikes. Pretty direct.
Obviously, that doesn't come true,
Right.
but it's kind of funny. And
Also that Leon constantly second guesses
Oh, yeah,
themselves, which I thought was very interesting as it
Yeah.
concerns their sexuality.
A little bit, yeah.
Just wondering kind of what's going on. I really wish we got into like the slices of life like that
Yeah.
with the kids and the adults and like really learned more about them. So I'm wondering if maybe that was happening already. I mean, I imagine
Maybe.
so.
I mean,
I
yeah, but at
imagine
this
so.
point, like, Leon's all about being a polygamist and being a sister wife and having.
Well, when did you know that you were gay and that you were acting on it? Like that I'm a gay lesbian on
Well,
this planet.
I came out when I was 15, but I had known a little bit before that, like as a young kid. But it took me a little while to like
Mhm.
come to terms with it. And then even after I came out, like people were telling me it was just a phase, so I started questioning it a little bit. But
Right.
it's like it's definitely one of those things that like ebbs and flows until you finally solidify in it and you're like, nope, this is who I am, and y'all can suck it if you don't accept it.
Yeah, but some gabies, they know when they're like 3, 4, 5 years
Yeah.
old. And with my daughter, I could tell.
Yeah.
Like I could tell when she was like 8 years old,
Oh
9
my
years old.
God,
I remember
my sweet baby.
my crazy Aunt Cher, she came
Yeah.
into town. She came into
She is
town
nuts.
when my daughter was like 8 years old, and she's like, is she a lesbian? I'm like, she's 8 years old.
Oh my
But
God.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know that my daughter knew that about herself.
Probably not.
She certainly didn't express that, but I kind of had the feeling of that. But like for somebody like Leon, I'm just wondering when they kind of got the sense of that for themselves. I'm wondering if this is going on right now as Mystic Mona calls them out for second guessing themselves.
It's a very interesting theory, for sure.
I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking.
Just pondering. Let us know your thoughts. And then we get to the readings with the adults,
Yeah.
which was kind of interesting because we start off with Christine and Mystic Mona pulls out the tarot cards and she's like, you lonely.
Yeah.
You're lonely as fuck.
You have a lot of people around you. It's a lot going on, but like you feel forever alone.
Yeah.
You're sitting in that big red bedroom by yourself and you're crying at night.
Yep.
Christine, aren't you?
Yeah.
Christine's face kind of falls. And I'm like, ooh,
Yikes.
arrow right to the heart.
And Mystic Mona's like, you know what? You should embrace it, though. Like, you should embrace this new reality that you're in of deep loneliness.
Yeah.
And then we get like a little like scene on the couch of the adults like reacting to it.
Oh, God.
And this is where Cody was so nasty because Cody's like, yeah, I think Mystic Mona was right because Christine, you have been kind of acting like a victim.
For the last year of all of our lives, you've been acting like a victim.
I can't believe he said that.
So he's associating Christine's innate loneliness in their marriage to victimhood.
Yes.
It was just really, really wild to hear him say that.
And like the other wives like kind of laugh at that,
Mm-hmm.
like as if it was some joke.
Mm-hmm.
And Christine's just like, ouch, like you're seeing right into my soul.
Mhm.
And this is where Cody says something like, well, I'm just saying it as like a positive thing because, you know,
Sure.
you can change your cards, you can change the stars, you know, you can
Okay,
like, change
yeah.
the trajectory of your life. So like just embrace that sacred loneliness.
Gaslight.
That's basically what he's saying.
Yeah.
So disgusting. And then Mystic Mona goes to Mary next, which is all about like choosing her life.
Mystic Mona tells Mary that Mary is all in, which I thought was interesting. She's like, I know that you are all in with this family because we go on season after season, especially when we're
That's
leaving
true.
for Flagstaff. And it's kind of a question as to whether Mary is going to go with the family. Mary is constantly telling everybody, no, I am here 100%. I am all in. So Mystic Mona saying this years previous was kind of interesting.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit. And then I think she says something about like you have to keep track of your health. Like you might have like
The
some
kids,
health issues
there
or
was
something.
going to be some health issues with a couple of kids that she was going to have to figure out. And also that
Interesting.
it was something to do with Mary that was going to change the entire dynamic of the family.
Catfish.
Yes. And also, I think both Janelle and Christine, when they were leaving the family, have both cited how Mary is treated.
That's true.
And them not wanting to be treated the same way that Mary has been treated for all of these years. And so that's why they're going to leave. And so, but I mean, I'm always looking to see
Yeah.
if there's something that resonates, but I'm like, I can see that.
I could see that too.
Yeah.
And then we get to Janelle's reading, which was kind of weird because she says some card is reversed and that she asks Janelle, I think, if her and Cody had a fight recently.
I actually think she was not referring to Cody and Janelle. I think Janelle, she was referring to Mary and Janelle.
Weird.
The way that I
did not
saw
catch that.
Yeah, she was, I think, referring to Mary and Janelle recently having some sort of a fight, and she asked Janelle whether there was any arguments, and Janelle kind of looks back at Mary and she's like, no, no, I don't think so.
Weird.
Which I personally, as I was watching it, I was like,
I thought she was like picking it up on Janelle and Cody.
I don't think so.
Because then on the couch, Cody says something like, well, I think Mona was like reading up on all of my wives at the same time, and she was mixing them up. And I'm like, what does that mean? Who you fighting with? I thought it was about Cody and Janelle.
Well, I thought it was about Mary, and if it was about Mary, and I could be wrong, but if it was about Mary and Janelle, I just felt like in that moment Janelle was lying.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I think we now know Janelle and Mary were constantly at odds. They might not have been actively arguing in a moment, but I think Janelle did not like her, and Mary did not like Janelle.
Not at all. They had a clash of personalities the whole time.
Yeah, and so Janelle's like, yeah, no, there's no problem.
Not at all.
There's big problems, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems between everybody in this family.
Yes.
And then we get to Robyn. And Robyn's reading was, she gets all of the blessings of the universe all the time, specifically with money.
Yeah.
And she'll never have to worry about finances. She's always going to figure it out. And everything's going to be great because Robyn is #blessed.
Yes. And then we go to the couch and Robyn's like, well, it's because when I was younger and I had young children, like I always had to make sure that I was paying my bills, but I didn't have a lot of money. But like when I did get a little bit of money, I had to like sneak it away and hide it. So I was always trying to make sure that I had enough. And I'm like, what? Wasn't it just last season, though? We were talking about your credit report.
Yeah.
And all of the collections that you've been sent to and all of the multiple names and aliases that you've had because you've been hiding and shifting your debt around on a variety of identities. And didn't we also hear about how you had Victoria's Secret debt and other debt that the family had to pay off in order to bring you into the family? Like, what are you talking about?
I know.
That you're good with money. Or you're good now because you're stealing all the money.
Yeah,
you're taking all the money from the family.
Exactly. I thought that was kind of a crazy reading. And I wonder if the other wives were kind of side-eyeing Robyn for that, because I wonder if they're already noticing that she gets more of the money and she's getting a little bit extra here and there. Meanwhile, Christine and Janelle are struggling to like feed their kids, and Mary gets her money for her wet bar and all this stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm just wondering if they're starting to side-eye Robyn because of this reading. I think so.
I think as I'm watching season 6, I'm starting to notice that Robyn's nails are always done and her hair is always nice and her clothes are always great and her shoes seem to be fine and she's wearing jewelry. So like she's definitely leveling up. But you see the moms like Janelle and Christine who seem to be much more modest and humble.
Yep.
And the thing is that Robyn has 4 kids at this time. It's not like she doesn't have a mess of kids. She does. But remember, in season 19, we have Mary or Janelle saying something like Cody had the discretion to move the funds around to a wife as he saw fit. So I'm thinking he was moving those funds directly to Robyn.
Oh, for sure. Probably paying for a nanny or a babysitter because Robyn and Cody got to have their little special dates and everything.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just wondering what's going on here. But I thought her reading was bullshit.
Well, but it's not though.
But it's not. But I was like so mad about it.
Mystic Mona is like, you're not going to have to worry about money, and Robyn doesn't have to worry about money. But I was just asking God and the universe and the Mormon God on Kolob, like, well, but what about the year of our Lord 2025 and 2026? Like, is there going to be a time when there's going to be a financial reckoning where money is not going to be flowing so easily into the coffers of Cody and Robyn Brown? Because that would be the right thing to do, universe. I'm just wondering if you could notice that.
I know, for real.
It's exhausting watching these people prosper.
Yes, with all these aliases and stuff. I wonder if they still have aliases now and if they've got fake accounts and shit. I'm like, where's the IRS when you need them?
Well, you know, Robyn has fake accounts on Etsy.
Yep.
Buying up all her dolls and stuff like that. These are sneaky people. And in this episode, doesn't Cody say something like, well, we're polygamists. We're always hiding something.
Yes, he does. He says it as like a joke.
And I think it was around the flash mob or something like that, or trying to hide it from the girls before they dance. But I'm like, there it is.
Yep, there it is. And then after that, we have graduation presents, and I don't care.
Mm-mm.
And then we get to the preview.
Okay.
Where we have Janelle, who wants to run a 5K because she's in her fit and fabulous life. And then we have the 4 wives taking a trip, I think, to San Francisco. Did I hear that right?
But pause.
What?
Because as someone who has not watched the seasons, I have heard the Sister Wives lore around, I think, this 5K where Robyn gets Janelle a shirt for the 5K. And she gets her an extra large, or she gets her a smaller shirt. Something about it not fitting and
I remember
it being
this.
insulting in some way. I think this is the 5K, right?
I think it might be, actually. I think you're right, because I do remember seeing a clip of that where she purposely gets like smaller shirts, and she's like, "Oh, do they not fit because you're fat?"
Sorry about it, fatty. Fat raccoon in a
That's
dumpster.
probably what it is. Oh my God.
Yeah, I was wondering.
I can't wait for that. Well, and then we have the San Francisco trip, and this is the clip where the wives are like calling Cody all together for some reason while they're all at dinner, and Robyn is like super fucking pissed.
Her jaw is really hard and set on her face and stuff. And I think it's Christine talking to Cody about Truly, like something is happening with Truly, but like they're talking about how uncomfortable it is when one wife talks to Cody, because apparently we can't acknowledge that we're all married to the same man without it being offensive.
So bizarre.
Yeah, Robyn looks pissed.
She does look pissed. And then they all go shopping together for clothing in San Francisco, and God forbid, Robyn's getting these short little dresses, showing too much skin, looking too promiscuous.
Okay, it was the most dowdy, matronly brown dress that I've ever seen in my life.
Well, for Mormons.
I guess, but these women do not have fashion sense.
No, not at all. I mean, but they're also the same women that wear camisoles with a long sleeve shirt underneath.
They do.
So.
They do.
And then we have information about Truly at the very end, because Truly's getting sick. I think this is when she starts having her kidney issues, right?
Yes, it is. And we see a snippet of Aspen saying, you know, my dad has called me 16 times since the wives have been gone. And so Aspen is being parentified, and I think she's going to notice that something's very wrong with Truly. And I think according to the lore, and again, I haven't watched this season, I think Cody's just going to say, yeah, she's fine. Yep. I'm a dad. I know what I'm doing. Don't worry about it. But like Truly is actually really sick. It's her kidneys or something, right?
Yeah. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't seen these episodes in a long time, but I think like when they come back, this is where like Truly gets really fucking sick, and then she ends up hospitalized. Yes. And I think this is where like Christine gets mad at Cody. Yes. I don't know if we see a lot of that, but I think that this is like where resentment starts to brew, because I would be resentful. I'm trusting you to be home with all of our kids. I know it's a lot of them, but this is a little girl and she's obviously sick, and now she has to be hospitalized because you just were not paying attention.
Right. I don't know. I can't wait to watch, but it also looks like it's going to break my heart, because little Truly is just slumped over and she's very sick, and you have Cody performing parenthood for the cameras as opposed to actually taking care of his children.
It's ridiculous.
And I'm going to be mad, and I already know it.
Oh yeah, next week's episode is going to be a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else that we need to say to these beautiful raccoons before we get up on out of here and into the after show? Bitches!
Well, if you love our podcast, please go to your favorite podcast platform and leave us a glowing 5-star review. 5 stars and nothing less, please. It really helps us grow the pod so more people can join us in the dumpster. We really appreciate it, so thank you.
We do have an after show coming up right after this, in which we're getting into some gossipy bits, and so definitely join us for that if you are a patron. And if you're not, why aren't you a patron? You should be a patron. Come on. We have fun in those after shows. We will be back next week to talk Sister Wives. And until then, please do not forget that we have nothing but love for you. And peace out.
Bye.